3 shots per par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, it drew, shooter McGavin, 2 thumbs that's up high.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys having me on here tonight.
Of course,
it's kind of fitting me in between my day job and I guess my second job here. But I I do like to say I work like the 14-day week just because like I work I'm not like a 8:30 to 4:30 in the summertime when I'm not in college. And
So
then
how many hours? So Acorn Hills, right? Acorn Hills Apparel. Is that how you go? Okay, so
yep,
how many hours you put in?
Oh geez, well before I left school in May, my site said I had like 5,000 hours logged. So I don't even know what the breakdown of it would be.
How
But
long?
I would go to club.
Over how long? How many?
I would, I would say I launched the site in January 1st just for tax purposes. So, but I would say I would go to class from 8 to 3, and then from 3 to probably midnight every night for that span a couple of months. I was either working on my site or like on the phone with suppliers or on, just crazy different things. Or just, for example, like when I reached out to you guys, that's me on the other end of that, and countless people reached out to. But it's been a blast. I started out as a little hobby there, and like I was telling you guys before the show, eventually I got picked up there by USA Today, and then got picked up by the Weather Channel, and then just kind of went from there.
Okay, so can you tell us why too? Because that we were kind of doing a little synopsis, but Nate's really good at this, man. You're a natural, so we just figured we'd just roll in, and Brycer and I just like the conversation. I just thought I was saying, can you give us a quick little idea? And then you were a minute into a full-blown podcast intro, so it was good. So we got episode number 141 with Nate from Acorn Hills, acornhillsco.com, correct?
Yep, correct. All right, yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah, go check it out because he's got 5,000 hours on that site, so go check it out. But can you explain like how you got hooked up with? We'll go with the Golf Channel first.
You mean the Weather Channel there?
Well, you said it was the Weather Channel, and then USA Today.
USA Today. Yep. So, well, I guess from I am 20 years old, and I hinted there I was still in college. I'm still in college, and I started this company, kind of to follow my two passions. My first passion was always like looking good, but being from a very rural part of PA, kind of close to Penn State, the outdoors played a huge part in my life. Not that I was, like a hunter or anything like that, or but as far as hiking and jogging and biking, like things like those type of activities, and plus golf, and going back to the looking good part, I would go in a clothing store growing up, like whether it be TJ Maxx or Ross or Cabela's or something, and you'd see all these pieces of plastic, the hang tags, and like I said to Mac before the show, I said I don't know if my brain was just wired that way or what, but I always thought, wow, all those pieces of plastic hanging off the clothing are just wasteful, or just, for example, like you multiply that by every company times every product range they have, and there's millions and millions of pieces of excess plastic that really get pitched away. And I thought, well, how could I change that? And I tabled it during the pandemic. I thought I always wanted, like, it was always this pipeline dream. And so freshman year of college, I thought, I want to change this. So I conducted all this research. I thought, what's the best way to kind of eliminate that? And then it came clear to me, maybe my first semester of my sophomore year, I thought, well, seed paper is great. You plant it, usually like flowers will sprout up. And I thought, well, why couldn't you make the hang tag out of seed paper? And then on the back of the seed paper, if you get in a retailer like TJ Maxx or Walmart or whatever, put your UPC code. And I thought, well, that's perfect, because if it gets thrown away, it's eventually going to end up in a landfill, and somewhere along the line, it's going to end up in the ground. So either way, it's going to get planted. So I started out with that idea with the hang tag, with the seed paper hang tag, and pretty soon it got picked up by a USA Today journalist, and then that got pushed out over several different platforms, and eventually the Weather Channel picked it up as a story, and I went on the Weather Channel April 12th. And if you follow me on Instagram out there, you can see that I have it pinned right at the top. But yeah, if I was on the channel with Stephanie Abrams, and I think they said the viewer audience was 1.7 million or something like that. But it was surreal, and I did that. I did the interview at 8:30 a.m. and I had class at 9. So this is how it went. But
that's really cool. It is right up at the top of the page. So we got the IG handle acorn.hills in the show notes below. So go check it out. That's pretty cool. Were you the only one doing that, Nate? Like, has this been done before?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, well, so the tag itself, like the hang tag, I don't hold the patent for or anything like that. I want to be very clear. But as far as the process, I'm one of the first clothing brands to do it, or at least, small clothing brands to do it.
Yeah.
Um, it has gained some traction there. I don't want to say there's having people who copied me, but ever since I went on the Weather Channel, all of a sudden you start seeing these little clothing companies. Well, they're
Yeah.
doing seed paper now, and it's like, well, I can't patent it or anything like that because it isn't my product. But honestly, as sad as it is to see someone copy you, it's also bittersweet because my mission is to do good, and
Of course, man. Of
if there's
course, yeah.
if there's other companies are doing that, well, um, I guess in a different way, they are doing good. So I really applaud that.
Well, it's
So
also kind of nice for you to see that you're doing something in the right direction, right? If people are
yep,
copying you doing the same thing, you're obviously doing something right. So I mean, that's got to be a good feeling on the other side of it.
yep, exactly, yep.
Yeah, it's
But
like
as far as go ahead.
no,
I don't
I
want
was
to
just
interrupt
gonna
you.
say it's like it's flattery, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like if people are gonna kind of copy your brand or whatever it is or pieces that you're doing with your brand, it's gonna happen, man. There's no way to avoid
Yeah,
it.
hey, for
Like
sure. And
it's yeah.
I thought, well, of course these other people can copy that or whatever, but what can I do as a company owner being in college to kind of do my part? Is my taglines
Yeah.
look good, feel good, do good. And it's like, well, what can I do? Because
Yeah.
obviously, if a customer's going to take the chance on my clothing and plant the tag, like what do I do on my end? So I actually partnered with the National Forest Foundation. So every order that's on my site, they plant like a sapling. It's called a sapling, so like a little tree. Um, and to date, we've planted about 150 trees, and that's 150 more we had before I started the company. So
That's awesome,
Nice.
Nate. That's
Mac
really
here for
cool, man.
BioSteel. We absolutely love this one on the pod. The hydration mix has been in our golf bags forever. The hydration mix has been designed in the most natural way possible to help you stay hydrated throughout your round of golf. Zero sugar formula is made from clean, quality ingredients and contains no artificial flavors and colors, added vitamins and minerals to help support overall good health, normal function of your golf swing, and your immune system. Simply mix it into some water, and you can enjoy it through all 18 holes. Clean, healthy hydration. Zero sugar, natural health product, no artificial flavors or colors, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives, caffeine free, NSF certified for sport. Biosteel.ca, biosteel.com. Use the promo code SCREWS30 for 30% off your order. SCREWS30 for 30% off your order. Stay hydrated, my friends. Mac here for Manscaped, the best in men's grooming. We are back with a limited time offer on the Performance Package 4.0. If you're not watching this on YouTube or on Instagram or somewhere that we have this video posted, you should go look because I'm going to show you everything in each one of these lineups. The Performance Package 4.0 comes with the Crop Reviver, the Crop Preserver, the Weed Whacker for the nose. This thing would take down Eugene Levy, and the Lawnmower 4.0. We scroll down to the Platinum Package. It includes the Crop Preserver that we already talked about. You can't see it in the screen. Over there is a Crop Reviver, the body wash, shampoo, and conditioner, plus the deodorant, said Weed Whacker, said Lawnmower 4.0. And on top of that, you're going to get free boxers, my favorite pair of all three pairs that I own, my favorite toiletry bag of two toiletry bags that I own, free shipping, plus 20% off using the promo code OTSGolf over at manscaped.com or manscaped.ca. The best in men's grooming. Let's get to the back nine. We'll see you there. Mr. Beast had something where they would do like the ocean cleanup and stuff like that. Like it would
hmm
clean up a certain
yeah,
amount of things. But like, I like that. I like that idea. You like you said, it's a purpose. You buy a product, a golf product that you would enjoy, and
yeah.
you can plant a tree with it. Do you find a lot of people might come to your site or to your brand like specifically for that and then search, whether they're a golfer or not, then search for a product from there?
I would say, a lot of times, like I said, a lot of my customers are organically. I don't honestly to date, I haven't spent a dollar on marketing yet. It's just all been me, word of mouth, the Weather Channel, just everything coming full circle. So if someone's coming to my site, um, I don't know how they got there, whether it was maybe like an interview like that, but I hope when they leave the site, whether they buy something or not, they leave with a better feeling that there is some people out there doing trying to make some difference.
Yeah, it kind
So
of turned a purchase of something into a bigger picture almost, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doing more than just buying a product, which is
Yep.
great.
And it's
Um,
great at price. I didn't want to interrupt you there.
no, you're good. You can continue. I was just gonna move on to kind of what products you have and maybe get into the product line a bit.
Can we do the
Yeah,
can we do the name
I was
first, Nate, if you don't mind?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
what was the origin of the name? Like how'd you come up with the name?
so Acorn Hills itself. So I live in, like I said, very rural PA.
Okay.
I live in the middle of nowhere. We're in a little town called Kerwinsville, but I live even in the backwoods of that, and so I'm surrounded by woods. It's all hilly and tons of oak trees, and you go out there outside in the middle of, I don't even know, fall, March, or like Mayish, somewhere in there, sometime where like everything fell down, and uh or leftover, like for May, like leftover from fall, and then for fall, like October, times like that. And you couldn't even walk five steps without stepping on an acorn or something, just because of so many oak trees. Well, being so hilly and uh acorns everywhere, I thought, well, that's perfect, and it sounded great. I thought Acorn Hills sounds great when you say it, and so I thought it was storybook.
I love it, man. That's cool. Like it all kind of ties in together too. That's really neat.
Yeah,
It also
yeah,
sounds like a hunter's dream with all the deer you probably get there.
yeah, yeah. Deer, bear. I actually, obviously I still live at home, and I looked out the window last night before I went to bed, and there was like a fox and like a baby fox with it. So I think everyone would love that if
Nice.
you're a hunter. But
All right, let's Brycer, yeah, let's get back into the lineup. What products you got, Nate?
yeah, so if you hop on my website right now, you'll see a blue quarter zip. It's actually called Aqua Pura. I try and make most of my names and stuff kind of nature themed, or if not, like
Hmm.
some sort of nature relating. The big, really popular item is the Babbling Brook polo that I'm wearing right now. It's supposed to, like, I guess, be comparable to water. That's kind of how I designed it. Um, but that the hats are great. I have two hats right now. Some T-shirts. I don't know if you're on the site right now, Bryce, but
Yeah, I am looking through it.
yep. I have the Bigfoot T-shirt and the camping T-shirt, and I'm hoping to get some logo tees, and I have some hoodies coming, and as well as I'm starting to venture into a women's line of golf products, because
Nice.
coming out of high school, I actually had two NIL deals myself, being a college golfer, so that also helped. I guess me kind of learn the back end of a lot of the apparel side of, especially golf. That's kind of why I started with golf. But I want to be very clear. I'm both. I have lifestyle clothing. I have golf clothing on there. And,
Mhm.
yeah, I think there's opportunity to be
You have
strong
to
in both
now.
sides.
You have to now, man. Like once a month or more, we have a brand on, and you've got to have both now. I think, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Like
I'd
there's
say probably 85 to 90% of clothing brands in the golf space are now venturing to kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
lifestyle apparel and stuff.
We look. You even look at someone like, for example, Travis Matthew or something.
Hmm.
They have polos, and then if you walk in like a Dick's, you see their T-shirts and stuff, and it's like, wow,
Mhm.
okay, that's saying something, that they're willing to do that too. But so
so
yeah, so I thought, I probably took the first year without, before launching over my website, just wrote down ideas, wrote down what I wanted my first launch to be, and how that would kind of roll out. And that was a huge stepping stone for me, because there's a lot of obstacles and stuff I encountered within that first year of research, that I just thought, holy cow, like if I would have started, just launched my website, but like, okay, I'm gonna learn this as I go, would have been real bad.
we tried that with merch, man. We got
Yeah.
a little bit, and like we had the site going there for a bit. Like we can still do merch if we need to, but it's a
Yeah.
monster, man. Like you have to be, like you said, 5,000 hours. Like it's a lot of time.
Yep.
What were some of the things that you ran into? If we got anybody like that's listening right now, we might have like 1.8 million listeners too. So it might be this
Wow.
weather channel might be the second biggest interview. Who knows, man?
Wow.
Who knows? No,
That'd be
we
crazy.
won't quite get there. I don't think, but I don't know if we have that in a collective.
Maybe divide that by a few numbers, but yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
up there.
yeah.
No,
A few
it's
thousand
funny
numbers.
you say that,
but yeah.
because when this a quick story before I get back into your question, but when I was on the Weather Channel, I don't know if maybe my computer's like glitching out or what, because I hopped in there and it was just a black screen, and all you heard was Stephanie Abrams is the news anchor there, and she said, "All right, we have Nate from Acorn Hills." And I thought, I can't see a thing, like this isn't good, and so I did that interview fully blind, fully
Oh,
Oh,
really?
black
really?
screen. Yep.
Wow.
If you watch that interview, my eyes are darting, but on the other end of that screen, I could not see a thing. So,
You were probably in a full panic attack when that
oh yeah,
happened.
yep.
That's
But
Did
hilarious.
they say afterwards that it would be like that? So we're talking on video right now. So we're
yeah,
very lucky that we can have like a conversation and see one another. We're pretty it's got to be a good thing because we usually run a few minutes longer than a half an hour or so. But how long were you on there? And she's just talking to you? Like, did
it
they
was
not
it was
give you a heads up?
it was 3 minutes. They
Oh
prepped
my
me.
god,
They
that
prepped me
that
about
would
an
have felt
hour.
that would have felt
They
like
prepped me for
yeah.
They prepped me for an hour, and then they brought me on 3 minutes like thing, and within those 3 minutes, I had like 1,000 people on my website. Then it was just
Wow.
unbelievable. And
That's
And
sweet.
nobody said that you're not going to be able to see her. You're only going to hear her.
well, yeah, I don't know if it was just a mistake when they're patching me in or not, because
Right.
but it was weird too, because I could hear everything that was going on the Weather Channel, like what they were saying and stuff. Then you'd hear very like quietly, very like whisper. Someone would say, "Okay, you're live in 3 seconds." It's like, oh man, that's creepy, especially when it's a black screen.
Well, you
But
expect it to kind of pop up, and that's cool, man.
I thought,
I
yep,
feel like
yep,
someone
yep.
made a mistake there,
Yeah.
right? I feel like
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
hey, nothing against the Weather Channel if you're listening out there, but uh, yeah, I had a blast. But it was a cool experience for sure.
Just
You know,
before you answer Mac's question that he was gonna ask there, I just wanna do you do well in these ball markers? I know a lot I see sold out, sold out, sold out. I mean I
yeah,
know a lot of people enjoy those kind of custom things. Do you do well on those?
yeah. So it's a funny story because I don't make them. I do not make any ball markers. So who makes them is actually my mom. Because
Oh, okay.
when I was like junior golfer and stuff, like she was very artistic. I thought, oh, so she used to like paint on like rock for me or something, just something simple. She doesn't play golf, and but then we see these people started making ball marks, and then she started making a couple, and she started really liking it. And so I said, I'll throw them on the site, especially for having the golf thing. But she's made them for kids on my college team, like in high school and stuff. So it's her thing, but they're awesome pieces. And she makes them all handmade, hand paints them and everything. So
That's cool. Really
those them,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, this acorn one's cool. Good for her. That's so cool, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, yep, they're sweet.
I like that stamped on the
I
back
like the
too.
little woodchuck or the little whatever
Yeah,
squirrel maybe.
yeah,
Little,
those are
Oh,
cool.
the gopher, yeah,
or the
that's yeah,
gopher.
yeah.
They probably sell it.
Um,
Yeah, they probably sell it really quick. But so what else? I know we kind of talked a little bit about the lineup, like what you got in the lineup. Um,
yeah,
I wanted to ask you too, like if you want to go into it a bit deeper, for sure you can. Now, like you're just a one man. Well, obviously your mom's gotten involved with these ball markers here, so you're not a one man
yeah.
team. But you do you, like you do all the designs yourself?
So I'll contract out a designer, whether it is via Instagram or just sometimes when I go with the supplier, another brand maybe got a design through them and they maybe didn't want to pay for it or didn't like it, and they ended up paying for the design and they made all these shirts. Well, then I might buy an overstock design of them.
Right.
But that really depends because a lot of the design, like the Bigfoot design, I paid someone to do. But myself, I'm not personally drawing. I wish I could. I'm just not. It'd be a very bad stick figure T-shirt if
You
I
and
was
me
drawing.
both, man.
But yeah, I love designers are really cool. I could sit and watch a designer do this thing all day. But
Well, cause
that Mac answer. Okay. I was gonna answer your question before then about the challenges you were asking me about.
yeah. By all means, man. We
Yeah.
sorry, we bounce back and forth. But if
No,
you
me.
wanna if
Hey,
you wanna
me
touch on
too.
some of them, by all means, man, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think one that was huge that I really didn't think would be that big was to be something like Instagram or be something like TikTok where you had to constantly
Yeah.
upload content or make content. And in college, that was almost a strength of mine because I had access to 3,000 kids who were from diverse populations who literally I could pick and choose, like say, hey, would you want to, be in a photo shoot with me? And it most more likely say yeah. And it's like I had it easy that first couple months, but now that I'm kind of in summertime, it's like, oh man, I don't have access to those students right now.
Yeah.
So content creation is a huge beast, and finding the right content for the right person and engaging with everyone. That's just something I enjoy. I enjoy engaging. I enjoy meeting with every one of my followers. I mean, I don't have that many. I think I have like 1,000 something, but I've definitely reached out to, I'd say, at least 900 of them, and the not the 100 that I didn't reach out to, those are people from my high school or college that already knew about it. So that was definitely one of the challenges for sure. Another challenge I'd say would be like with my suppliers who are overseas, whether it's China or I have it all over. I have some in the U.S. as well, but what's tough is when everyone back here is sleeping, they're
Yeah.
awake,
Right.
and especially being in college, I would stay up basically all day and do all this work and stuff. And I'd want to go to bed at like 10 o'clock at night. That's when my supplier was up. So I'd be on the phone some nights midnight, 1 or 2 a.m. Uh, trying to figure out some sort of deal or some sort of contract. And so I went to class a lot of times being a zombie. But I mean, my grades didn't suffer at all. So I just kept my nose to the grindstone and just kept drinking coffee. But
You're young, Nate. You can handle it, man. It's
yep, that's all. Yep.
there's plenty of time to sleep. It's yeah, as you grow older, maybe you have kids or something like that. We don't do a lot of sleeping, so it's now you have like an interest in design you mentioned or like fashion, I guess
Yeah, yeah.
you know, in the past you said that you're really into fashion and stuff. Is there any brands that you like kind of grew up liking that you wear a lot of right now? We always like asking like the collaboration kind of question, so we get like an idea of like if you were to collaborate with a brand, what would that be? Um,
Yeah,
you know, if you're not wearing your brand,
I
what are you wearing, kind of thing, right?
yeah, yeah. So it depends. If I'm on the golf course, definitely around like your classic Nike or Adidas, something like that. Basically, I've never been a real big buy in store type of guy. So like, I'm always trying to find a deal. And I think that's just the way my brain was wired, being kind of like an entrepreneur mindset. Is
Yeah,
I would go to TJ Maxx, like, oh, this is awesome. It's like, well, uh, I don't know if it would have been like in a Nike store if I would have bought the same polo, if that makes sense. But so yeah, I wear anything, and then when lifestyle wise, life is good, Cabela's, things like that, kind of that appealing to more of the countryside. But it's probably a mixture of everything. Honestly, if I like to design, I don't really care what brand it is, and it could be Dollar General, Walmart brand. If I like it, I don't really care.
yeah. Like I like really like a really simple idea. Like my sweater. Anybody who's watching us here, it's just got like literally our logo here. The mic's in the way,
Yeah,
still in the way. But it's just got like our
yeah,
logo here, and we just keep it kind of clean. Like the one that
yep,
Brycer's got on, he's just got the logo with the like our small like golf ball with the I don't know headphones logo or
Headphones.
whatever it is.
yep.
So it's kind of
That's
cool.
how my hats are too.
Yeah, we
My hats are
just
very simple. Now the polo is a little bit loud, but I have hoodies coming that are very simple, like you said, with the logo kind of just left chest, and
yeah, I
uh,
like that.
so
You got to have like
but yeah,
a diverse like you know, I guess like portfolio. You got to have lots of different things for when somebody comes to your site. You know, Bryce and I will have a different idea of like what we want to wear. So you got to like I know he kind of likes like one of the brands was like Snowman. Like remember we had Snowman Bryce. They had
yeah.
like really cool.
Yep.
I don't know if you follow them. They got like really cool stuff too. And then
It's funny about Snowman. Just a quick story is when I came out of high school, they contacted me to be like an ambassador for them.
Oh
okay,
And
yeah.
yeah,
originally I just turned it down. I was like, oh, whatever. And here a couple years like went by, and I looked them up. Like when I was starting my stuff, like holy cow, they blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're in pro shops. And same with I don't know if you ever heard Pastel Golf. They're out of I
I
think they're
have,
out of
yeah.
New York. Yep. It is funny. That was almost motivation for me because I would see these brands starting out when I was like in high school. And they were just small, and they were just like me trying to get their sea legs and kind of grow. And then you fast forward 2 or 3 years, and these brands with a consistent purpose and genuine mission, they really took off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
if you can keep your nose to the grindstone, like you said, and just not quit, I mean, you'll get there eventually, pretty much, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's kind of what we've done. We still haven't gotten there though, Bryce.
Yeah, we'll get there one
We'll,
day.
we'll get there. No, but like I was thinking back to the idea of like social media and stuff and how like it's an absolute beast, like trying to post content all the time. We try to keep it like relevant, but just I find like cutting reels and editing reels and stuff from the pod is like, you know, you got to go into like,
yeah,
you know, we have like a background editor and stuff like that. So when you go in there, you cut that, like it takes like a half an hour to an hour for a lot of these things, right? And it's just for like
yeah,
one piece. And then, you know, so, it's more of like a streetwear brand, but it's called Tight Knit up here in Toronto.
Okay.
So we had Tyler on a little while ago, and he has some golf stuff, but he's more focused on like the idea of like a streetwear brand, and he's great at it. He posts stuff like all the time, every day, all the time. Like, and it's impressive to see like that type of like, same with you, like that
Yeah.
type of determination that you guys have. We've been the same way with the pod. We've been really good. It's been consistent, like we said, 141 straight Fridays. Bryce, it doesn't seem like that. Like, it doesn't seem like it's
No.
been going that long, but that's a
Doesn't.
long time, man. So, but yeah, hopefully 141 more, I guess. But it's
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy,
Hey,
man.
I'll be rooting for you guys for sure. And,
Yeah.
it's funny because starting out, I had a little bit of an interest from pro shops and things like that, but the problem was I couldn't embroider their stuff. I had no way to get an embroidery machine or any way to get some sort of custom logo for them.
Yeah.
So that was one thing I really worked on within the first couple of months of being off of school, kind of like my summer vacation. Even though it's not a summer vacation, I work doing marketing analytics in the summertime for a bank back home here. But was to find that embroidery shop that would do that custom logo that I can bring a piece of my clothing and they'll do someone's logo for them. And so that was a big breakthrough for me. And now I can do custom orders for like companies or like you said, like collaborations and stuff, which is huge.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So like, aside from kind of getting in the pro shops and stuff like that, are you wanting to kind of take this anywhere else, or do you like the e-commerce side with like kind of touching in some local pro shops and whatnot, or are you wanting to make this eventually bigger? It all kind of
yeah,
depends on your capacity, really, right?
right. And a lot of it too depends. Like I need to. A lot of times I forget I'm still in college.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I'll be getting it way ahead of myself, and I hear my dad say in the background, like, "Hey, you still have a year and a half of college," which is a great safety net because, um, if I'm gonna fail or fall flat on my face, I really wasn't afraid to take this risk and fail because I still have my whole life ahead of me.
Hmm.
And so like in my answering your question, I would love to get in some more retailers if possible, and maybe one day scale this to maybe a small brick and mortar if the opportunity presented itself. But right now I'm just trying to do some pop-ups around like pop-up shops, and
yeah.
I actually did a couple weeks ago. It's funny because a friend of mine from high school graduated and works at REI. You ever hear REI Outdoors?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, in Nebraska. And he saw my story with the Weather Channel and said, "Hey, I'm trying to do this thing called like a local buy. Um, would that be something you're interested in?" I said, "Yeah, for sure." So I'm official. I can't say it officially that I'm an REI partner, but I'm in REI Nebraska. So
Oh, nice.
if you're ever in Nebraska and you go to the REI store, you'll see like a little section of Acorn Hills. But and he said it's selling well, and people love the mission and everything. So it's just word of mouth. It's all about connecting with people, and who knows with the genuine purpose like I think I have with the whole planting seeds and planting trees and conservation. Just everyone trying to do more good is sky's the limit, really.
Yeah, well, I think people kind of like that more than just purchasing something. Like I said
Yeah,
earlier, the fact that there's
yeah,
something else to it, I think people kind of feel good about that purchase more than they would
yeah,
about something else.
exactly.
You mentioned you're kind of getting some hoodies started. Any other future products you're looking to do, or future
Yeah,
ideas, maybe?
yeah. I got to be careful not to scale crazy quickly because then I get so many products and my bedroom can only hold so many
Yeah.
things in the storage container. And then when I'm at college, I bring like so much in. I basically deal them out of my college dorm, so I got to be careful. But um, as far as a product, right? Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit. I try to, once in a while throw up Instagram poll out and be like, hey, followers, I'm thinking about adding a new collection. What would you like to see? And like the last time was hoodies and another polo. So it really, I took that information and ran with it. So, but I'd like to at least like release one or two products per season or per collection, whether it's a spring collection or fall collection. And I like to appeal to both male and female, and maybe even get some kids stuff because when I went on the Weather Channel, I had uh, parent teacher association contacted me and they said, "Hey, would you want to be a motivational speaker going around to all these high schools and saying like, hey, I was once in your shoes. I'm a college kid, started this business." And I said, "Well, I really appreciate that, but me being still in college, like that's a lot of stress on my part." I said, "I'd
And
love to
time.
revisit." Yeah, time exactly. Yep. And so there still is an aspect where I have to pull in the reins a little bit because I don't know what I don't know. And if I try and grow too quickly without kind of having the right answers or without having some sort of game plan, I'm gonna be like for sure be careful. But yeah, this that's not to say like I'm not gonna try and grow because obviously every day is like trying to grow. But yeah, sky's the limit with products.
Growth can be in like a lot of different ways too, right? It's not growth isn't measured just by sales. Like it's not, or
No,
like
nope,
in our world, like with Bryce and I, it's not measured just by downloads. Like it
nope.
shows growth and that's great, but we might see a peak download, episode with somebody like yourself who's got a lot of organic followers. Like you might only have 1,000 followers, and then we have a bunch of people that are in like, the Apple and the Spotify algorithm that just click it each time it pops up or whatever it is.
Yeah,
But if you drive 700 or 800 people over to listen to an episode, that's obviously going to, spike those numbers from the people who are already listening to it, right? So
yeah,
there's so many ways to like build that growth, and that can just be simply like for us, like it might just be like learning about a new way to like clean up some audio or something, or a new
yep.
way to like connect with some followers or whatever through social media, or a different way of editing and things like that, right? So
Yeah, I actually, it's funny you say that because, I was getting a good amount of website traffic by doing just the Instagram and TikTok, but, I would look at other clothing brands and think, well, what's different from my website? And it was really the design. I was kind of really complicated. I don't want to say really complicated, but I'd use two or three colors, which is fine. But um, when I switched to kind of like a gray, white uh, theme and really did that myself, ended up getting a lot more eye traffic is what I call it, but
yeah.
impressions, likes, comments, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
reshares, a lot of things like that. And like you said, growth comes in so many different ways. The other day I was just playing a random golf course, and I was like I had my rangefinder and I was shooting my rangefinder. I actually shot past the hole, and on the other tee box was this guy wearing like a shirt like blue. I thought, what the heck? So then we get on the next hole, and here we get like I play kind of fast, but I like was right in the back of them. They ended up letting us through. Here he actually had a polo on, one of my polos, and here's with
Wow.
a guy that ordered a while back. So I got a picture with him. Uh, and it was just cool to finally see someone actually, besides like my family or friends, wearing my stuff without even a second thought. So
That's
That's
really
sweet.
cool. Like usually I like to ask like what is the most fulfilling thing? And for
yeah,
most brands, especially apparel brands, like we might have like, head cover companies and stuff like that on too, but most apparel brands will say things like, your mission statement's a little bit different, so it might stray from this, but I think almost everybody will say, well, it's like really cool, or like we really want to see somebody in our gear one time. So
yeah.
like that would be, I don't know. I feel like you're like when you shoot it with a laser, your heart has to kind of start pumping a little bit and be like,
Yeah, my,
yeah,
my
just
heart. Yeah, I think I flew a 9 iron that was supposed to go like 150. I flew it into the trees at like 170. So you can just imagine
yeah,
how I was feeling. But
yeah.
uh, I
That's
didn't
just a
even
little
care.
baby. That's
If I
just a little
took the
baby
tool.
9 iron for Brycer here. That's big for me.
Yeah.
That's just a little baby 9 iron for Brycer
Is
here.
it?
So
Yeah. See, I don't hit
yeah,
the ball long at all. So
neither do I,
Bryce might.
man. You throw around those numbers here with this guy, and it's just like, yeah, it's just unfair. It's unfair how far he hits it. But like I think though, aside from like obviously your mission of do good, like the idea of seeing somebody in your poll, like you, like in any of your gear, that must be like, especially when you said they're not friend or family or anything like that. They're just somebody
Nope.
who genuinely liked your product, went, clicked
Yep.
through, checked it out, made a purchase, used their own money. That's really
Yeah.
cool, man. That would be for me. I think that would be like the epitome. That'd be one of those things that it's just like
Yeah. It's just one of those
validating.
moments that I was, especially just kind of on a personal thing. I was in college my freshman year, and I thought, I don't know if college is for me. I'd sit awake at night, think, man, what am I doing here and stuff. And I think that was just part of the kind of discernment of whether to be a college student or not. And I'm very happy I did because I went and got involved in everything. And like you said, it was one of those fulfilling things that when I got involved and really put myself out there, it was great. So I thought, how can I give back? Clothing was something that I always wanted to do, and so now I started that, and here we are.
You're talking about your golf game a little, and I know you kind of mentioned you're a college golfer. Want to get into your golf game a little and kind of where you're at with that?
Yeah, yeah. So I came out of high school. I had a couple. I wasn't a crazy golfer. I wasn't like a big name like Clemson or Alabama or type golfer, but I did have a couple offers from all divisions. But I wanted something when I did all the pricing and scholarships coming from high school and things like that. I wanted to stay kind of close to home. So about an hour away was a small little D3 school where their golf coach, he was a +6 handicap, great coach. I don't know why he's ever in D3, and I thought this place is great. It spoke to me as private school, and I thought this is perfect. So like that's where I went. And honestly, it was the greatest thing I ever did because the people are kind of speaking the same type of language as I am, kind of from small country areas that, golf wise, I was all self taught, never had a lesson until college, and they were kind of the same way. So I guess, my first year freshman was kind of getting my sea legs under me for golf too, because of how do I take a lesson? How do I get through that learning curve of taking that information, applying it to my swing? So, my scores were all over the place my freshman year, but fall wise, of this sophomore year, it was a lot better. So, but yeah,
So what,
I
you have
don't I
2 years left? You have
I
2
have
years?
yeah I have a year and a half left, so
Okay.
I'll graduate a semester early. Yep, but yep. So I do not hit the ball very long. Maybe at max 260, 265, somewhere in there. Um, but college, like that's not bad around here when I come back home and play in the summertime. But college level, there are guys who fly at 280, 290 plus,
Mm-hmm.
and but I led all of our conference there last year in putts per 18. I think I
Nice.
averaged like 24, 25. So, but then driving, I was like almost dead last. So my short game is really where I've made my bones through the years, just because I've had to be good with
Yeah, you're
it.
talking Max language now. He's a short game guy.
Yeah, like I can still hit it off the tee, just not.
Yeah, you can.
I
But
can
you
still.
excel on the greens and around the
Yeah,
greens.
I can hit it 300, but it's like lately it's like I don't know, 20, 30 yards left and then 20, 30 yards right for 2 or 3 and
Yeah.
then maybe we find the middle for 1 or 2. It's game's in a tough spot right now. Really,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm not playing that much either, so I'm taking a little break right now. So when this is actually out, if we're listening this Friday night, I'll probably be at Top Golf in Vegas right now. So that'll be
Oh, there you go.
yeah, hopefully it'll be pretty good. But I definitely I think short game is important, and
It is,
if you
for
want to go
sure.
low, like even Bryce, like we recently talked about a really low round that Bryce had, and like it was the putting, right? Like the putting is what
Mm-hmm.
what gets you to that point or that short game, right? That's what kind of that's what kind of keeps you there. And I don't know. We talked to a lot of pros and stuff like that, and a lot of college players, and it's something that the long ball is like here to stay for sure in golf, but it's not always a benefit. Like Bryce and I've talked about that so many times where like
I
Bryce is
get
one of those
screwed
guys
so
who
many times.
carries it 290, 300 yards, and it's like, and then you're hitting kind of an awkward wedge in or something. Like you got a
Yeah.
45-yard
Fills me.
wedge, right?
Fills me.
And with some of the courses, like the way that they're built, like some of the ones that I play at, like you are better to hit a 110-yard wedge in than you are to hit a 45-yard wedge, right? So
Yeah.
it's just having that mentality of trying to kind of reel it back a little bit there. You said your coach was a +6. Was he just like an absolute stick and he just didn't care to play golf anymore and he was just there? Or was he like hands on with you guys? We've been lucky enough to have one of the best coaches in the country in the pod before, which was really cool, Andy Walker of VCU. But, his approach was very much that like, he's there kind of to like mentor the players, help with their scheduling and stuff like that. But like these guys are good.
Yeah.
Like they're some of the best players in the country. Like did they treat it like that where you were going to school or?
It's funny. He actually is very, very hands-on. Um, he's a full-time teacher himself. He's a full like
Okay.
not golf teacher, just an actual like
Okay.
education teacher. He teaches seventh grade right up the road at this high school. Um, but yeah, he's very hands-on. He'll play 18 holes with us, and he'll go through and make us do all sort of different things, whether it's play 18 holes with irons, play 18 holes from irons like from the red tees or something,
Mhm.
just something crazy.
Right.
But then he's just the knowledge of golf himself. I think he's about 30 right now. He's no bigger than probably
He's young.
5'4".
Yeah.
Yeah, he's no bigger than 5'4" and hits the ball just like you said about Bryce, like 300 yards, just
That's
crazy.
fun.
Yeah.
And
That's
just overpowers courses.
Yeah,
But
I know it's crazy to say, but I think I'm more effective from like 73, 7,400 yards than I am from like 62, which is nuts
yeah,
to say, but I just get myself into trouble where I just can't hit that 20, 30 yard wedge shot close
yeah.
up to make birdie. But what's your lowest round you've ever recorded?
So well, college wise, about a 71,
Hmm.
72, and then just kind of back home like that college wise, but probably like 6,800, 7,200
Yeah,
yards somewhere in there. But when I'm back home, my course is about 6,300. I shot 67 there a couple of times,
nice.
um, but like 9 hole wise at my home course, I've torched a 9 hole where it went 7 under with the bogey. So it's
Ooh,
so then there are times where I'll go 7 over through like 2 holes. So
yeah,
it's definitely.
It's the story of my life, buddy. I shot
yeah.
66 one day and 92 the next.
Yeah.
I do. I've talked about the 33, 48 that I got an 81 with the 33
Yeah,
on the front. So it's,
Wow.
yeah, it's tough, man.
golf, man.
That's like, I also like talked about the story of just like making a triple on 10 and then just refusing to go the, refusing to go the drop zone, refusing to go the drop zone on a par three. So that's kind of my own fault, but you know, it is what it is. And then I almost dunked it for 5 because I wouldn't leave the tee block. So yeah, but that's golf. That's how it is, right? And like
Yes, it is.
that mental game is like that's kind of what separates like when you go to college and stuff like that. Like you got to be able to play those rounds a little bit, you know, with a little
Yep.
bit more head on your shoulders than Brycer and I are doing right now. But
Yeah.
it is something that the game is like. I don't know, man. It's cool. It's infectious. It like everybody can play it, right? And I think when we kind of bring it back to the brand, that's sort of like you know the idea is when we talk about you got to have a piece for almost everybody, right? And I think
Yep.
the lifestyle and like just people wanting to get out and enjoy the game and have fun with it is important, right? So there's you know there's kind of something for everybody there. I was playing the other day and Marshall came by to me and he's like, "Can you tuck your shirt in?" I kind of like looked back and I was like, "Oh, he's talking to me." And I was like, "Wait, that's still a thing in golf, right?" I was just like, "It's
Yeah.
you know, it's not something I'm used to maybe at my home track, but that doesn't mean like that I was just of course I was like, yeah, this is kind of where I am today. So I was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. It's just different everywhere, right? And it's there's just like a vast amount of people playing the game. It's cool. And it seems like your idea and your motto and stuff is sort of appealing to a lot of people for many ways. And hey man, hats off to you. You're only
Yeah,
20
it's
years
great.
old,
Yeah.
Nate. That's pretty cool, man.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it, guys. And
That is
hey,
really cool.
thank you.
I
Appreciate it.
before we let you go, I wanted to just grab a couple things for you. So you're trying to
Yeah.
it sounded like you were typically trying to do like a spring drop, summer drop, fall drop
Yep.
sort of thing. So
Yep.
people can look out. Do we have a summer drop coming or has it already hit?
We have right now I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too early, but we have 2 polos coming. We have a hoodie coming, lightweight golf hoodie. But I'm trying to drop those every kind of 15 days because if you're like me, by the time fall hits, you already have your clothes you're gonna wear. So I'd say
Right.
midsummer, Christmas in July, almost type idea. But
Something you haven't mentioned here, Nate, but Nate used the same manufacturer site as FootJoy, New Era, Peter Millar too. So
yep, correct.
so
Yeah.
if you
So
like
it
any of
is.
those brands or you're looking for premium stuff, it sounds like this is where it's at, right? So,
Yep.
again, we're like I'm terrible with this stuff, but can you remind us of the Instagram handles, your website,
Yeah.
TikTok, all of that kind of stuff before we wrap
Yep.
here?
So my Instagram is at acorn.hills. Feel free to DM me at any time, please, because I love to connect with everyone. And my website's www.acornhillsco.com. And then my TikTok is Acorn Hills Co. So,
Okay,
yep. So you can find me anywhere. If you just Google Acorn Hills or you Google Nate, I'll come up somewhere in the search bar.
I like it, man. We're gonna have those in the show notes below too, so anybody wants to go over, especially like if it like spoke to you in any way, like obviously if
Yeah.
this is a first for Brycer and I, which is you know like we were saying 141 episodes in, we haven't had anybody who's like kind of you know doing it to give back to the golf course in general, man. It's
Well,
and
hey,
just the earth in general, which is which has a lot of golf courses, so it's cool.
well, hey, if you're okay with it, Mac, I don't want to interfere with anything you guys are doing, but be more than happy to give your followers and listeners out there a 15% off code. We can
Nice.
do OTS 15. You can throw that in the show notes, and I'll make a code. And anyone who listens to it definitely use it.
All right,
Yeah, that'd be great. We appreciate that.
Yeah. By all means, man, go ahead and set that up. And anybody that's kind of checked it out, listen to us here. And if they haven't made it to the end, I'll make sure we get it in the show notes so somebody can have a look. And
I'm just gonna collect all these tags and drop around Port Hope for Max. So in the middle of the fairway, I'll just start.
yeah,
Just
it'll just
start
be something sprouting up. Yeah, don't. It's already hard enough. Like I was playing there. A friend of mine's a raider, so we were playing the other day, and he was out, and he was just we're playing with the Team Ontario, so where we are here, which would be like a state, but Team Ontario down in he's the junior coach here, the provincial junior coach, and he was just beating them up, man. We actually tipped it up, Bryce, too, which was something that you mentioned there, where I actually played pretty well. I think I shot 36 or something on the front, which was pretty good. It got a hold of me on the back though. Like
it'll do that.
Oh yeah, like it's I don't know what it was, but yeah, we were trying to just tread water by the end of it, find a fairway, and I was striking the ball really well, but I had a couple times where it's just like say I'm 17, Bryce, like I hit like a good tee shot, and it's just like fried egg in the fairway bunker. I'm just like, man, like what do I do to deserve this today? Like I was just, but that's golf, man. That's how it is. But yeah, acorn.hills over on Instagram, and then acornhillsco.com.
Yep.
Got it.
Exactly.
Perfect, man. All right, Nate, this was great, man. Thanks for reaching out. We had a lot of fun. We always like to try to loop back. So if we don't, by all means, reach out to us. If you have another line dropping or the fall drop or something like that, let's kind of reconnect and just hop on and kind of run it back and see what's going on. Or even if you just have something that comes up, man, that's why we're here. We just love kind of connecting with people and talking golf. So if something comes up,
we also love promoting brands. The more traction we can give you guys than any other brand, the happier we are. So
same goes here, guys. Anything that I can do to help you, definitely let me know.
Appreciate that, Nate. You're 20, man. You're an inspiration. This is cool. This is really cool, man. Good for you. I'm happy things are going well, and by all means, OTS 15, go over and pick up something here, and we'll plant some more trees too, which is really cool.
He's out in my ball in the course, so I tee up. I lose the ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross, worst case scenario.